hijacked, or people have included in it way more than what was originally intended by the likes of Imam Ahmad, by the likes of Al-Lalaka'i, then there's a need to add a statement or clarification, whether it be the word Salafi, whether it be the word Athari, people of the Athar, people who follow the reports, whether it be by a long explanation, by saying, when I say Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, I mean I'm not an Ash'ari, I'm not a Sufi, I'm not a Khariji, I'm not a Murji'i. That's a very long explanation, right? So there's a need sometimes to make a long explanation, like this time right now, because perhaps there's some confusion about why would someone use the word Salafi. And I'm not saying we have to use the word Salafi, but if you've understood what's preceded, you have arrived to the fact that we need further clarification beyond saying we're Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah in this time. Is that clear? So then the word Salafi itself is not an obligation on a person to say he is Salafi. However, he's required to distinguish himself from the groups that are astray. Alayhi salatu wasalam.
That's the easy way to say. But associating yourself to the hizb and saying that I'm a Salafi is a contradiction for the term when Prophet Muhammad said,
Alayhi salatu wasalam.
my Sunnah or I study. It's a clear contradiction when we label ourselves, basically. It's giving a label. So labeling or associating or getting grouped into it. I'm not saying there is Jamaat Islamic. I'm not saying that forming an organization is wrong. There is two different issues. Forming an organization and associating yourself with a party, these are two different things. It might be permissible to form an organization and to work for that organization, whatever the agenda they have. But when somebody asks you, what are you? What kind of Muslim you are? I adhere to the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad.
Alayhi salatu wasalam. I have to finish my class, Akhi. I appreciate the discussion. In general, we'll talk about the importance of a person using the word Salafi, or the lack. We're not able to say the person who calls himself Salafi has basically joined a group or has identified himself as being a member of a sect and has been the cause for differing amongst the ummah. We're not able to say that, because if you've understood what I've said, then you have to take that same finger and point it towards Imam Ahmad and Al-Lalaka'i and Al-Ajurri, who came up with the word Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah in a time when that word wasn't known. The reason was to make a distinction, right? And there's no text behind the phrase Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and there's no text behind the word Salafi. And I mentioned to you as well the word Athari, or Ahl al-Hadith, or al-Filqat al-Najiyah, or al-Ta'ifat al-Mansura, or any word that you use. Short explanation, and I mentioned to you the difference between the need for a short explanation and using a quick word. Some instances require that. You can't give a long explanation. Other instances require a long explanation. So what you say is, when you're asked, what are you? You don't like when someone will put you on the spot and you just have to give a one-word answer as a Muslim. You don't like that. And I understand where you're coming from, because that would lead someone, in many cases, to put you in one of those groups. Right? And that would not fulfill the purpose of you labeling yourself with a name or mentioning your ascription to the book and the Sunnah using that word. So many times using that quick word Salafi, it doesn't benefit a person, because the message is not understood by the person who's being addressed. So then what's obligatory then is that you do your best to distinguish yourself from those stray groups. Whether it's, if the word, use the word Salafi, amongst people who understand the context of the word, that it's another step and another word that the people have used to distinguish themselves from the astray groups. If that's understood by the people you're speaking to, then use the word Salafi. If the word is if you're in a place like Pakistan or India, and the word they understand is Ahl Hadith, not the people who make tawaf around the graves, not the people who call on the saints, but Ahl Hadith, then use the word Ahl Hadith. If you're in a place where the people called Ahl Al-Athar, the people of the narrations, and they understand when you say you're from Ahl Al-Athar, you're not the people who call on the saints, you're not the people who commit acts of shirk, you're not the people who join together in dhikr circles and dance and sing. You're from the people who stick to the narrations. So then each station or each possible way, when you encounter someone, you need to basically clarify your distinction as a follower, as you have said, of the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to the understanding of the Sahaba and the early Imams. if you can clarify that clearly to the person, that's the maqsood, and that's what's intended, and that's what's obligatory on a Muslim, to distinguish himself. So sometimes using the word Salafi accomplishes that, sometimes using the word Salafi accomplishes the opposite of that. As people understand, Salafis are a new sect. Their Imam is Al-Albani, right? He has 4-volume set of the Sunnah called Sahih al-Tirmidhi, Sahih Abi Dawood, Sahih al-Nasa'i. Those are his books for his firqa, right? Some people may understand this. So when you're speaking to such a person and you say, I'm a Salafi, you have not accomplished the goal of distinguishing yourself from those who have deviated from the path of Islam. So I hope that was some help and some clarification about this issue. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. To close the subject very well, there's a very important set of lines from Ibn al-Qayyim that he used to defend the followers of the narrations of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the followers of the Sunnah, in the face of the people of innovation, or the people who have called to blind following of the shuyukh, whether they be the 4 imams or the elders of a certain time or place. Many times you'll find the people are attached to what they know and what their fathers have practiced, and you cannot call them back to the haqq except with great efforts and a lot of work and years of patience. These times were reached by our great imams, one of them being Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, who addressed this issue when he and his Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah and those like him from Ahl al-Hadith had, and that reminds me just to mention that the Ibn Taymiyyah mentioned in his Majmu' al-Fatawa that the madhab of the Salaf is nothing but the truth, so there's no aib, as the ulama have made ijma', there is no aib on the one who ascribes himself to the madhab of the Salaf. That's in Majmu' al-Fatawa by Ibn Taymiyyah. Going back to what I'm saying now, Ibn al-Qayyim mentioned some lines of poetry to refute the people who say, you've contradicted our shuyukh, our great scholars of this day and time, by your statements, when they came and they said the book of Allah necessitates us to take a position other than the position that your elders are upon and that you know from your forefathers and that which is established. Listen to the beautiful words of Ibn al-Qayyim. قالوا له خالفت أقوال الشيوخ ولم يبالوا الخلف للفرقان. Again, قالوا له خالفت أقوال الشيوخ ولم يبالوا الخلف للفرقان. They said to him, this is beautiful, you have opposed the statements of our shuyukh, and they have given no concern to the opposition of al-Furqani, to one of the names of the Quran. Right? The whole concern is, you're opposing our shuyukh, you're opposing our shuyukh. خالفت أقوال الشيوخ فأنتم خالفتم من جاء بالقرآن. Right? I have opposed the statements of shuyukh, but you have opposed the one who came with the Quran. خالفتم قول الرسول وإنما خالفت من جراه قول فلان. Right? You have opposed the statement of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but rather I have opposed people who are influenced and impressed by the statement of fulan. Some people. The person I'm following is a messenger. You're following someone who's impressed by fulan's statement. يا حبذا ذاك الخلاف فإنه. Oh, what a beautiful khilaf there is between me and you. What a beautiful issue of differing there is between me and you. فَإِنَّهُ عَيْنُ الْوِفَاقِ لِطَاعَةِ الرَّحْمَنِ. That it is, in fact, the sign that I have been granted success to obeying Ar-Rahman. أَوَمَا عَلِمْتَ بِأَنَّ أَعْدَاءِ الرَّسُولِ عَلَيْهِ عَابُ الْخُلْفَ بِالْبُهْتَانِ. Don't you know that the people, the enemies of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, blamed him for opposition? And they did that with buhtan, with slander. They blamed him for opposing the statements of the shuyukh of their time. And they did that by slandering him. لِشُيُوخِهِمْ وَلِمَا عَلَيْهِ قَدْ مَضَى أَسْلَافُهُمْ فِي سَالِفِ الْأَزْمَانِ. Opposing their shuyukh and what they had been upon and what they had gone on, their salaf, the ones who came before them, in the previous times. ما العيب إلا في خلاف النص لا رأي الرجال وفكرة الأذهان. There is no blame for anyone except when they oppose the text, except when they oppose the nas, not when they oppose the opinions of a person or thoughts that come to a man's mind. أنتم تعيبنا بهذا وهو من توفيقنا والفضل للمنان. And you are blaming us for that. that we oppose thoughts that have come to people's minds. You oppose us, and you blame us for that,